welcome back to Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by Arrowhead Mountain Spring Water. Chris McGee, James Worthy, Mike Bresnan, Allie will join us in a little bit. Mike Trudell is out in Minneapolis. Lakers lose a costly one, guys. They dropped a 3-1 in the series as they head home to L.A. Wednesday night will be Game 5. Lakers had a 7-point lead late in that game with 4 minutes left, but a lot like Game 3, just unable to execute. They missed a lot of shots around the basket that we're used to them making. James, their last 3 possessions, a missed 3, a turnover on the out of bounds, and then a missed 3 by Austin with a chance to tie. And Ant was pretty clutch down the stretch as well. Naz Reid, of course, with the big 3 in the basket by McDaniels. Tough to kind of put into words how we're feeling right now for this Laker team. Not out of it yet, James, but 3-1 is a blow.
Yeah, Gita, this one hurts to the core. I mean, it really does. I've been retired for over 30 years, and I can feel what it feels like to be in a playoff game where you must win, where you do a lot of things correct. I've never seen a game where Lakers had leads, I think, in every quarter. 7 points, 8 points, 12 points, only to lose that lead. And, I don't know. This one hurts because they had control of the game, and the execution, I thought there wasn't a lot of, movement, on offense. I know they rely on Luka a lot, and they were setting that pick out there close to the half-court line, which it's just not a lot of space, but they had some shots, didn't go down, some fouls down the stretch that were costly. I just think they're going to look at this one and say poor execution. Those guys played the entire second half. I don't know if that fatigue had anything to do with it.
Yeah, that was the first time, James, in playoff history, at least since they've tracked it over the past 30 years, that
looking for
one
Gabe.
unit has played the entire second half.
I kept looking for the experience of Gabe a little bit. I kept looking for, just guys, a good one even to come in and provide some. But, hey, it is what it is. This one's going to hurt. That's going to be a tough plane ride back. And the biggest challenge ever now is to get yourself ready for, Game 4. I'm sorry, Game
5.
Game 5, I'm sorry. And get yourself ready for Game 5 and win that one. And, you can go back and look at this game and say, we had leads and, don't make the same mistakes. But now it's tough because this loss, it takes a lot of wind out of yourself.
Yeah, and obviously the task at hand is daunting. You can't look at the entire thing. You have to look at it, Brez, from here on out as one game at a time. And that's just the truth. You can't even think about a Game 6. You have to win Game 5 before you can even think about a Game 6. Brez, with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left, Lakers were up 104-97. The lack of execution, a 14-3 run by Minnesota. But then the Lakers took a 2-point lead with 1:29 left. They never scored again.
Yeah, second game in a row. I mean, it was about 4.5 minutes last game where the Laker offense just collapsed. Same thing tonight. Some weird view of LeBron getting the foul. Felt like it was from a NASA satellite, kind of looking way down into the game. All of a sudden, that viewpoint popped up, and it's like, okay, yeah, he did actually appear to foul Anthony Edwards, and that's going to change the tide, the momentum a little bit. And Geet, 3-1's tough. It is a tough deficit. Teams have only come back from 3-1 13 times in NBA history to win a series. It's about a 95% success rate when you do go up 3-1 historically. The good news is, James, LeBron James knows how to do this.
Yeah,
he did it 9 years ago in 2016 when they came back to beat Golden State in the finals. But, you have to give Minnesota some credit that Anthony Edwards, we've been talking and talking. We haven't quite seen an Ant-Man game yet in this series, James. He obviously had one tonight. I mean, those are incredible numbers. Not just the points, but the rebounds and the assists, James. He's a complete player now, and this is his stage, this game.
A big discussion will be over the next couple days, I guarantee you, and JJ will talk about it here, I'm sure, is the decision to go with that same unit. No Jackson Hayes to start. They put Dorian Smith in, and they played the entire third and fourth quarters. And as I mentioned to you, James, this is the first time that's happened since they've been tracking it since 1997, 98. They only scored 19 points in that fourth quarter. They had an amazing third quarter, had that lead. They were 10 points going into the fourth, but only scored 19. So the question will become, were they tired?
You know, the question will become, when you look at the Lakers' rotations, usually, sometimes you see LeBron going out for 2 or 3 minutes. In the fourth, Luka goes out for a couple. I'm not sure what the exact rotation is, but when I think of the experience that, Gabe has, when I think of, what Goodwin's been bringing to the table, you got to have the energy sometimes just to mix things up, maybe give your guys a blow. But, you can't question what a coach thinks is good for the team at that time. That's what he thought was working.
Yeah, it was working.
It was the best five. They had leads of 8, 9, 12 points. So, they weren't tired when they were getting that. It just becomes a defensive thing at that point.
Yeah.
Second chance points, layups, fouling. So it's just hard to explain. But
it just becomes part of the discussion, right?
It's going to be part of the discussion.
They won that third by 13. Mm-hmm. That was a great
36 points in that third quarter.
36 to 23. It was a great third quarter by this unit. They got the spacing they wanted. Richard was talking about it during the broadcast, and Doris, but Brez Ant was just tremendous. You look at down the stretch here, I believe Minnesota had 5 threes in that fourth quarter. Yeah, there it is, 5 for 11. 46% from the field, only 28% from the field, 32 to 19. But even more than that, guys, I think watching that, even, Rob texting us during the game, a little stagnant, right? You get a little stagnant when you do a little tired, kind of predictable what we were doing. And, Brez, that's a great defensive team, James, and Brez, Minnesota.
Yeah, JJ made 2 big decisions going into that third quarter, coming out of the locker room. Said, Jackson Hayes, you're not going to play this half. As a matter of fact, no one's going to play this entire half except for that the 5 we're putting out there. And I'm sure JJ let those guys know. It's you 5 for the next 24 minutes. Go. We need this game. And for him to do that in the first place, it shows you how desperate and how much the Lakers wanted to win this game. They knew the importance of grabbing this game, wrenching back that home court advantage, James, and they tried. They did everything they could. And there were plays where it's like, this is going to work. LeBron's block shot of DiVincenzo with a minute and a half left. I mean, he skied to get that high. That was his 45th minute in the game, Keith.
Yeah.
I mean, there were times where it's like, this can happen, but they did go 5 for 18 in that fourth quarter. Maybe fatigue did play a factor.
If I'm looking at just these 2 games in Minnesota as a 2-game set, and I'm breaking that down as a series, it would be frustrating because the Lakers were right there to win both games. I think turnovers would be the main story in that game number 1, and then in game 2, missed opportunities. Big game, because it was right there for the taking. They did everything right to win this game.
The inability to hold on to leads have been an issue in this series. And they evaporate quickly. A 9-point lead, a 10-point lead, turnover, missed shot, another turnover.